Hello everyone. So as we all know that CLAT 2023 is finally over and the wait is over, the students are out of the exam. So let's just what's your name?
Ananya.
Ananya. So Ananya, can you just tell that how was the exam and what was the difficulty level?
The difficulty level was fine. You can say that it was really difficult, but according to me, it required a lot of calm, patience. So it was okay.
It was okay, right? So how many questions were you able to attempt?
Around 90.
Around 90 questions, right? And how much do you expect yourself to be scoring in the exam?
I expect around 70 because I'm not sure about some of the questions.
Right.
I was really disappointed at some
Right.
part. So
Right. See, as we all know that this exam is all about reading. It is more of reading than understanding, and also it is somewhere very difficult to manage the time. So how lengthy was the paper?
no, I guess it's understanding plus reading equally. So
Right.
yeah,
So were you able to read all the questions?
no.
See, I told it. See, the paper is all
But
about.
according to me, the much like whatever we read, if we are reading 60% of the exam, we need to be understanding, what the exam is.
Right. So which particular section according to you was the most difficult?
According to me, it was GK because if you know GK, it's fine, but otherwise
It's not easy otherwise. And how was the legal section?
it was easy.
It was easy.
Yes.
Legal section is always the favorite of the law aspirants, and that is why they are law aspirants, right? So as she is saying that it was easy, how was the English section? No.
English section was not too like it. I would say it required time because at some part, because English is the section which requires most of the understanding.
Right.
So it required a lot time for me.
Right. Right. Okay. So as she is saying that it required a lot of time, it took a lot of time of her, and now I would like to ask you the most neglected section of all, the quant section. How was it?
I didn't attempt it.
You did not attempt it. That's a very smart strategy for many of the students, that she did not attempt it because she knew that time come hai, we have to manage the time as well. Anything else that you want to tell to the other aspirants that who are already preparing for 2024 exam?
Just practice more and more of mocks, and just you should know yourself that how you can manage the time. Like I was very clear at my part that I am not gonna attempt GK and maths, so I focused on the my
Legal
strategy.
and English
Yeah.
section. Right. So see, as she has said that it is very clear on her part that she will only be attempting the sections that she is fine in. Right. So this was her strategy. Yours can be as you wish to. Anything else that you want to tell the other students who are preparing?
Yeah, that keep practicing. That like practice makes a man perfect. So that's the key to this exam.
Right. So since when were you preparing? How much time did it take you to prepare for the exam?
I'm preparing since June 2022.
You are preparing since June 2022. And according to you, what was your attempt? Like, was it good? Was
It
it
was
average? You're happy with it? Satisfied?
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that is enough. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very best of luck. Right. So yeah, as she was telling me that the paper was quite moderately balanced. It was a lengthy one. She wasn't able to attempt a lot of it, but if we understand the fact that this paper is about reading, this paper is about a lot of reading, right? So one needs to understand the fact that herein you have to manage your accuracy, herein you have to manage the time, you also have to see whether you are able to comprehend the most of it, because apparently you cannot miss the English section, you cannot miss any of the sections. According to her, what she did in the exam was she left the entire quant section, right? And leaving the entire quant section helped her manage her time in the other sections. But your strategy can be as per you, so you'll have to think about it, right? So just think of the exam, strategize beforehand, right? And then think of attempting it. Also, one thing that can help you out right now would be that you can start thinking as to what will you do and which sections would you be good at after you start preparing for it, right? So let's just talk to a few more people. Excuse me, can you just 5 minutes, right? Okay. So what's your name?
Nishtha.
You can just remove it. It's fine. I'm vaccinated. Don't worry. Right. So your name is
Nishtha.
Nishtha. Right. So Nishtha. So since when have you been preparing for CLAT 2023?
2 years.
2 years. Right. And how was your attempt?
It was nice.
It was nice. How many questions did you attempt?
More than 100.
More than 100 questions. That's
But
a
the
really
accuracy
good.
was nice.
Accuracy was good. So how much are you expecting out of yourself?
Not top 5, but Raipur maybe.
Acha, I was asking you about the number of questions that you might get correct. What would be your score according to you?
90s.
In 90s, and that is a very good score, right? So if you have to tell something to the new aspirants, what would that be?
Trusting yourself.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. Be
And
confident.
if you have to analyze today's paper, how would you mark it? Was it easy? Was it moderate? Was it very
it
difficult?
was easy.
It was
Except
easy.
GK, it was easy.
Except GK, it was
Yeah.
easy. What was difficult in GK?
It was just horrible.
It was horrible. Why was it horrible, and what was new in it?
Everything was new. I have.
Fine. See, many of the students are saying that we are getting late, but we are trying to give you a glimpse of how the paper was and how much were the people able to really attempt it. Right. Okay. So that was all about it, and we have more students who are really rushing right now, who really want to give the come. So I have one more student of mine here. Let me just ask him, how was your paper?
It went fine.
It went fine. Anything else that you want to say?
No.
You don't want to say anything? How was the paper otherwise? How was it?
It was relatively
easy,
easier than
moderate?
expected.
Easier than expected? Right.
At least the English and the verbal and math section.
Verbal and the math section. So how much were you able to attempt?
I attempted all the questions.
You attempted all the questions? So is that out of enthusiasm or what?
Enthusiasm, definitely.
Enthusiasm, definitely. Right. See, so which section was the most difficult out of all?
I think it's maths.
Maths. You attempted maths?
I
All the
started with
questions?
maths.
You
All the
started
questions.
with maths. How was the GK section? Because most of the students just gave me a review that the GK section was quite difficult this year.
GK was, they were the topics, it depended on topics if you know them. Some topics were easy, some were a little difficult. So
Right.
I was prepared in that regard.
You were prepared. How many questions did you attempt? All the questions?
All the questions.
How much are you expecting? How much score are you expecting?
I'm not keeping expectations, I'll know only then.
You're not keeping any expectations, right? Okay. So how was the legal section? It is a favorite of most of the law aspirants, right?
Not favorite for me, so
Right. Your favorite subject is
English.
English.
Has to be.
How did you do in that?
I think that went very well. I could get a very high score in that.
Right. Very
Logical
good.
as well.
Right. So was it moderate, easy?
Yes, moderately easy.
Moderately easy. And what about the overall analysis of the paper? Did you find it balanced?
Yes. I mean, as per my preparation, it was balanced, yes.
So since when are you preparing?
For a few months, I don't know exactly the date.
Okay. ठीक है. You've been preparing since a few months?
Yes.
Well, right?
Thank you.
So all right. Thank you so much and best of luck. Come over. So what's your name?
Devinder.
Devinder. Right. So how was your paper?
Quite difficult.
Quite difficult. Right. What was difficult in the paper?
Current affairs.
Current affairs were difficult in the paper. And can you just enumerate a number of current affairs that you did not find anywhere else? Was there something that was quite new to see?
या मतलब थोड़ा सा उन्होंने इंटरनेशनल वे में पूछा था और मैंने मतलब जो नेशनल हैं इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन है वो किए थे बट वो ज़्यादा ब्रीफ में उन्होंने पूछे हुए थे तो मेरे को वो टफ लगा और अनएक्सपेक्टेड टॉपिक्स थे वो उठाए थे उन्होंने
All right. So unexpected topics plus the international current affairs that were taken that posed a challenge to you, right?
नो पेपर वॉज क्वाइट लेंथी और मेरा तो 1 घंटा लीगल पे लग गया
Right.
और वो मेरे लिए ना डिफ़िकल्ट हो गया मैनेज करना CR प्लस
It's a big issue, right?
न्यू एस्पिरेंट्स को मैं यही कहना चाहूँगी कि मतलब पहले से ही मॉक देना शुरू कर दें और अटेम्प्ट्स बढ़ाएं और जो टाइम है उसको मतलब
Take care of, right? So if you'll be able to manage your time, that will help you, right? So this is something that she's told me. So yeah, we have another student. Thank you so much, ma'am. Come. So what's your name?
I'm Raj Mahajan.
Right. So how was your paper?
So the paper was good, okayish type. It was lengthy paper.
It was lengthy?
Yeah. For
Yeah.
me, I believe that was lengthy.
Right. So how much were you able to attempt?
So my attempt went like 150, 120.
Right.
But it wasn't the same. But
Since that it was a relatively easy paper.
yeah, but it might. But I've seen the reaction inside the campus. It has not been great. It's not been
Alright,
great.
it has not been great.
Yeah.
Maybe it is because of the length of the paper.
Could be that.
Right. Alright. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Right. So do we have? We have another student. Hello. Hi. What's your name?
Whitman.
Right. So can you just tell me since when have you been preparing?
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years. Right. So I am just guessing that your preparation is up to the mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much did you prepare and how much were you able to answer in the paper?
Very nice actually. I was only tricky with the current affairs because current affairs not need any kind of practice. Logical, legal, all need practice. And English also. I found all these sections quite easy and easy to moderate, but not kind of a difficult thing. But current affairs was tricking about the mind.
Right.
It was morely about international, and I can't say it was from the newspaper because I'm a really newspaper reader.
Alright. Okay, so it was more of international current affairs as most of the students have told me. Right. And how about the English section?
English was moderate, moderate I can say. Comprehension language was also moderately, but vocab was little difficult.
Vocab was a little difficult. And what about the quant section?
Quant section, actually I didn't attempted much quant section. I just took a view and find that it could lead to a negative marking, so I did attempt
Right.
it.
So how many questions did you attempt overall?
80 to 85. I think 80 to 1.
80 to 85. And how much do you expect out of yourself? That how much will you be able to score?
I think I could get 75 plus because I had a lot of practice in English and that much.
Right. So your expectation is somewhat around 75 or so.
Yeah.
That is a good score, right? So anything else that you would like to tell the law aspirants?
See, don't depend on magazines or only newspapers. Expand your sources basically on international level. Don't depend on national current affairs.
Right. Okay. So I guess that is enough.
Yeah,
So thank you so much and all the best for your future.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. So yeah. So we have another student here. So what's your name?
Prisha Umar.
Prisha. Sorry?
Prisha.
Prisha. Right. Hi Prisha. So since when have you been preparing for the paper?
From 2 years.
From past 2 years. So I am just guessing that your preparation is quite up to the mark, right?
Yeah.
So how many questions did you attempt?
I was late at the center.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's another
why.
point that you guys need to remember. Don't be late at the center.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
So because of that, I was only able to attempt only 90 questions.
Right.
And otherwise, it was a very simple paper.
Very
Means-
simple paper.
Yeah, it was not up to the mark. Means it was not that difficult. Yeah, it was
So
simple.
which section according to you was the most difficult?
I guess maths.
Right. And what about the GK section? Because most of the students have just told me that the GK section was quite difficult for them.
Yeah, it was quite difficult, but not that difficult.
It was quite difficult but not,
Not
that
that
difficult.
difficult.
How do I comprehend it?
Means some questions were difficult, but some questions were okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of current affairs from the international arena. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how did you manage to solve those questions? What were your sources there?
CLAT Possible, from where I took coaching,
Right.
and their mocks and reading newspapers every day,
Right.
and the Hindu newspaper.
The Hindu newspaper, as I've been telling everybody, the Hindu is the key here.
Yeah.
Right. Again, anything else?
No,
What about the law, legal section
it was good. It was easy.
and English?
English was easy, very easy.
It was easy but
Yeah.
lengthy. It wasn't
It
lengthy.
was lengthy.
It was lengthy, right? Because most of the students have been telling me that, ma'am, the English section was way too lengthy. So how did you manage your time, as you were already late for the paper?
Yeah. So first means मैंने बहुत प्रैक्टिस की हुई थी कि 5 मिनट मतलब जितनी आप प्रैक्टिस करते हो ना तो उतना आपका टाइम डिक्रीज होते जाता है
Right.
कि मैं जितना आप सॉल्व करना शुरू कर दोगे ना तो अर्लियर आई यूज्ड टू टेक 7 minutes टू कंप्लीट वन पैसेज टू रीड वन पैसेज तो अब करते 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 तो बस आई ओनली 2 minutes और 3 minutes
मुझे लगते थे एक कंप्लीट करने में पैसेज एंड देन आई यूज्ड टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस. तो इतना नहीं मुझे हुआ. पहले मैं पैनिक हुई कि यार 15 मिनट वेस्ट हो गए, बट नाउ.
Right. So, how much do you expect out of yourself?
80s.
In your 80s.
Yeah.
Fine. That is a pretty well score, right?
Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much, and I hope you do well in your future. Okay. All the best. Thank you so much, ma'am. So that was all about the CLAT 2023 paper. I've given you a sneak peek of how the students have reacted to the paper, and this is how the paper was. All in all, the paper was moderate as always. It was easy, and also the fact that it was a lengthy paper, as always the paper is quite lengthy, and that is all the paper was all about. I hope that I was able to bring a sneak peek of the entire paper, right? So I'll be glad to see the results now. I just wish all the students all the best, and I hope you get some great results out of your attempts.